School Freeware's Excel 2010 Tutorials. Tutorial 8. Absolute Reference. The workbook used within Tutorial 8 can be downloaded for free at schoolfreeware.com. To use an absolute reference, place a $sign before the row and/or column. Depending where the $sign is placed, this will tell Excel whether it can change the row and/or column when using the autofill. For those in countries who do not use dollars, you can easily place the $sign within your calculation, function, or formula by pressing F4 if you're using Windows or Command T if you're on a Mac. This is the workbook that was downloaded at schoolfreeware.com. What I would like to do here on sheet 1 is take the total, multiply it by the sales tax, and get the tax owed. So first thing I'm going to do is put in the sales tax at 7.75%. And now I can go ahead and calculate the tax owed by equal D5 multiplied by B10, enter, and then autofill down. Well, I see here that I have a little problem. I'm getting zeros as the autofill is going down. I'll double click and find that my calculation is D5 times B10, D6 times B11, which is off of the sales tax, D7 times B12, and D8 times B13. So obviously Excel is changing the cells off of B10 where the sales tax is. And I'll try this again, equal D5 times B10, and now I'll hit F4 and I get two $signs, one before B and one before 10. So I'll enter this in and autofill down. And let's just take a quick peek at the calculation again. So we have D5 times B10, D6 times B10, D7 times B10, and D8 times B10. On sheet 2, what I like to do is copy cells A1 through F1 and place them within J2 through J7. There's a quick way of doing this. I can copy, and at J2 right mouse click and select the paste option transpose. But let's try this a different way. I'm going to use the index function. So I'm going to start here with J2 equal, and I'm going to type in index. Then I'm going to select the cells A1 through F1, hit F4, I'll hit the comma, and since the rows are going to change, I'll put in the command rows, parenthesis, $J, $2, which is the cell I'm starting at, through $J2. And the 2 does not have a $sign because that row is going to change. I'll finish with two parentheses and autofill down. You can always go back and change the $signs if you choose by hitting F4. And wherever I have the highlighted click, by hitting F4 I can change the $signs around. So here's copying the row to the column. So let's try a column to a row. I'm going to start with F8 and I'm going to end with K8. So what I'm going to do is start with equal, index, highlight the cells, F4 to make sure that each row and column has a $sign, comma, and this time I'm going to use the columns because the columns are changing. And since we're starting with column F8, $sign F, $sign 8, colon, and there will not be a $sign before this F because this column is going to change, but I don't want to change the row, so $sign 8. Two ending parentheses, and enter, autofill over. Next, let's try some calculations. Here, I want to take this row and multiply each cell by 2 and each cell by 3. So we'll start off with index. Select the cells, F4, so there's a $sign in front of each row and each column. Multiply this by 2, comma, and then since the rows are changing, rows, the starting cell, $sign J, $sign 3, through $sign J, and there's not going to be a $sign before 3 because the rows are changing, close parentheses, and autofill down. For multiplying each cell by 3, we'll start off with equal, index, select the cells, F4, multiply by 3, comma, rows, because the rows are changing. Our starting cell is K3, so $K, $3, through $K, and since the rows are changing, 3 without any $, close parentheses, and autofill down. Let's go on to sheet 5. Here within sheet 5, what we're going to do is take these cells, multiplying it by 2, and using the power function, so we have the power of 3. So let's start off with index. Highlight the cells I want. Make sure the $ is in front by hitting F4. Multiply by 2, comma, and this time the columns are going to change, so columns. I'm starting at cell B8. The $B, $8, through, and the columns are changing, so B, $8 is what I need. Close the parentheses, and autofill over. For the power function, index, and then I'll need the power function. So power, select the cells, make sure that the cells do not change by placing the $ in front of them, comma, 3, so we have each cell by the power of 3, close parentheses, we're done with our power function, comma, and now we need the columns, and we're starting at B9, so $B, $9, through B, $9. Autofill over, and there we are. Last example, on sheet 6, what I'd like to do is take the total of the sales for each salesperson and multiply it by our commission rate. Now here, on one page, we have the salespeople in a column, and here we have them within a row. So to do it this way, I'll just use the index, select the cells, place the $ in front of the columns and rows by F4. Then I'm going to multiply the cells by the commission rate. Now here I have L3, and I know if I use this L3, we're going to move off of L3. So I'll tell the computer not to move off of L3 by hitting F4, and get the $L, $3, which will keep it at L3 at all times, comma, and since the columns are changing, bring up columns, and we're starting at $G, $6, through G, $6. Close parentheses, autofill over.